Okay, let's hope this is working. Live, does it show up as live? It does show up as live. Okay, great. So I should be able to go here. And hopefully I won't be talking to myself. Hopefully people will actually see it. Does show public? I don't know if it's public. Well, we'll find out. Let us pause for a second, relax, and enjoy my mug from the Liquid Propulsion Symposium. Yes, it does say that people are actually indeed live. I've had one heck of a hard day writing and talking and doing taxes and creating slides. I've been staring at the computer all day, which is, a lot of people are doing that right now, but they're all playing eugenics or whatever. No, I had actual real work to do and somehow didn't get a video out, but I feel that I have a lot of energy, and I have a lot of energy for building this. Does that sound good? The video is flipped. The video is flipped. How the heck do you fix? I don't know how you fix that. Oh God, YouTube, why are you doing this? Is there a way, is there an icon I can push to unflip this, or rather un-F this in a different way? Somebody thought this was a good idea at YouTube, right? Let's try this. I don't know what this button does. Does this one do anything? Retouch? No, that's not it. Does anyone know what the icon is? This would be funny. This is actually really hilarious. Like there's a way to turn the camera off, and there was a way to flip it into horizontal mode. Just there's no buttons. It's like an iPhone app, and I can flip it around and you can see the other direction. That doesn't help you very much, does it? This is yes, I shall just invert my movements. I shall be moving with, this is my right hand, right? Yeah? No, yeah. Well, look, we're just gonna go with it. We're just going with it. Whatever. Point the camera towards a mirror, right? Yes, a mirror. A mirror. There's been a mirror around here. There is actually a mirror behind me. So if you want, I can hold it up and, oh no wait, because there's two mirrors. Because you know that actually if you have a corner mirror, then it actually reflects and corrects itself. It's gonna be fine. So yeah, this is the new Technic Lego SLS. I actually have the other SLS there. There's been two SLS rocket sets released by Lego, which is one more than has actually flown, which I find impressive. It has like a whole animated thing where you can turn stuff, and we're gonna just get this started because I haven't done it. I haven't done this in such a long time. The internet says it's the webcam flipping the video. The webcam is my iPhone. Wait a second. What is this corner? Is there something in this corner? No, that's just chat. Yeah, whatever. Okay, we got a bunch of bags. We have, let's lay these out. Bag 6, 4, 1. Bag 1. Okay, this is 1. This is 7. So I think we're probably going to get these in order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, first V3 Starship launch will be 2026, I expect. There. Probably April, but of course they're aiming for March. But Elon time. It is coffee, in fact, that I am having, believe it or not. I have started to do, I can occasionally do live stuff, just don't do it very often. Okay, so it's telling me breakout. Bag number 1. Okay, here we go. Interesting, by the way, this manual, it's not like the really nice one that we get for the Apollo, Saturn V, which had all sorts of background material. This one has really minimal. There's like a handful of photos in it, but whatever. Hey, I understand it's past a lot of people's bedtime. That's just because of my nature of what I do, is streaming on a Tuesday night. By the way, hello to How many people are in here? I gotta just take a look. Thanks to Jake Obim 3051, by the way, for his generous donation to $1.99. Always appreciated, even the small things, they add up over time. Greetings to FXXC, Vsauce 314, Philip Jackson, Zach Mack, Salah Karsh, E. Cohen 2010, Julianer 1778, Maurice Walker, Jim Lickesy, Astroxia, Mike Serencini 2364, I am the Beelzebub, Matt Niffy, Canada Man, John Thing, Ibsen, Eco, let's see, who else? Hardliner, Hardlander, Philip Jackson, Morgan Rambo, Jim W, Javin Sack. Okay, this is as far as I go. Oh, we're already screamed off the end. So anyway, hello everybody. There's a bag in a bag here, but we start out with this, and we're just going to start building frameworks and stuff here. Okay, here we go. Hi, howdy from Texas. I was in Texas back last month, and this time I did not get stranded there. And I managed to avoid the bad weather, which apparently a lot of people did not avoid. So this goes inside here by the looks of things. So, and we gotta put one of these things here. Hi, Vietnam. You're in Vietnam? Are you a tourist or are you there for business? My brother went to Vietnam sometimes for business. Charles from India. I bet you have never heard the name of your place. I don't know if I've heard the name of your place. I've heard the names of lots of places, but there's always new places that I've never heard of. And every time it's like, maybe I should go there. Hello from Florida. I'm hoping to come to Florida for Artemis 2, but scheduling being what it is, we can't always guarantee that. So this has to go like that. So we're pushing this in here. This is like one of these Technic, sorry. Argentina sends you a big hug. Well, thank you very much. Can you send me some more chimichurri sauce? I love that stuff. So this joins on here. Jakarta. Cool. Jakarta? No, I made her go myself. Sorry. That's a terrible joke. Okay. Sorry about that. Apparently, the phone crashed. So I'm hoping that this won't be a problem going forwards, because we only got this far into it before the phone crashed. Yeah, I woke up to thunder and lightning this morning, which is kind of actually cool. I'm just glad I don't live in thunder and lightning and all that all the time. Yeah, I mean, rapid unscheduled software malfunction. I tell you, like, I leave Apple and suddenly their phone starts crashing during live streaming. What are the odds, huh? It'd be nice to have a Lego Starship, right? But here's the thing. We just had Crew 12 launched to the International Space Station, and they carried iPhones with them. They haven't officially showed us the iPhones just yet, but we know that they are the first NASA crew to actually carry iPhones. I'm on pack 1 right now. We're just like super early in the process here. Oh dear, I've already flipped this. You know what? Actually, I can fix this like that, I think. Because this is like agnostic. There. Fast fix. Yeah, this is Lego Starship, right? Just kidding. There's not enough stainless steel in there. It's all aluminium. Ready by 28. I don't know if Starship HLS will be ready by 28. There's a lot of things that could happen. I think, okay, get one of these, sorry, and one of these. A Lego Start, you think it would sell like crazy? I mean, the Lego Saturn V sold really well. Yeah, now that I'm not with Apple, you can tell that I'm still on an Apple phone because they're better. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? I know about the internal privacy policies at Apple, right? And that's exactly why I still use Apple hardware, because I also know about the internal app policies at other companies. Right? Yeah, we were a lot of co-workers. You know, technically, Terminal Chill, you were a co-worker with Trent Reznor, right, of Nine Inch Nails? Or was he gone by that time? I think you were around for that. And Dr. Dre. Well, funnily enough, the video that I recorded yesterday and sent over to my buddy, so I've actually managed to find some people to help me do some editing. Oh, by the way, I'd noticed that somebody else has donated. Yes, Jake Olbum, again, 3051, thanks for the donation. What was I going to say? You personally believe that Apple's policies have changed. Well, again, I was there, first person. So I can tell you that it was sometimes immensely inconvenient for me to want to do a certain thing and then be told, no, privacy stops it. Is Artemis 2 ready for human flight around the moon? I think it's likely more ready than you would imagine. I don't know. Like, I think it's ready. I think it... Oh, you talking about canary clauses and stuff like that? That's a whole other separate thing. You're not suggesting that the current administration would demand a company violate somebody's privacy? I mean... Okay, like this. That's how that goes. Really? Oh yeah, and that's how this thing goes in here. Okay. Then we have it says a long black one and it's a gray one. Long gray one goes through here. So this goes in. Oh, this goes in like this through here. What's my favorite dinosaur? That's a very good question. I mean, honestly, I'm probably on for like the T-Rex and stuff like that because they're a relatively modern dinosaur actually living in the Jurassic era, or wait, the Cretaceous era. Wait, Cretaceous, I don't know. The dinosaur, yes, the dinosaur is definitely the best dinosaur. I actually did that in Kerbal once. I created a rocket-powered dinosaur, and it flew surprisingly terribly. The deluge was impressive. I saw that video, and it's definitely gonna have to go into like the deep space updates thing. But you know, what words do you have for that? Like, they're the people that have actually done the math and the engineering to decide just how much flow they are actually going to need. My favorite liquid-fueled rocket engine, I'll be honest, I still think the F1 is my favorite. I mean, sure, everybody's loving talking about the Raptor, and that's definitely the choice for a rocket design going forwards. But the F1 was like built in an era where they didn't have computational work, the capabilities to actually test a lot of the stuff that they had to build full scale for Raptor. So like they basically had to blow that thing up multiple times to actually get it to, you know, a state where it would work. And so there's something kind of, you know, naive about that and wonderful, you know? Anyway. Why do all multiples of 3 digits add up to 369? Actually, that's an interesting question. Does it? You should try the Saturn V Space Shuttle rocker. They're wooden. They look really cool.
From Russia with Love, I have I would love to have more models in the backdrop. I need to actually remodel my office from my existing Lego models. I actually have a backlog of models that I have that I want to build, but I'm struggling because my office doesn't have the room. Does that make sense? So I think this is a blue one. Blue one goes through here. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you want to build rocket models but you don't have the money for a Lego model, you can always go and you can start looking at paper model building. There's some great websites that show you how to build paper models. And paper's obviously a lot cheaper. Like, in theory, you can take their designs and print them up and everything, or you could just draw them by hand, use those as inspiration. There's a lot you can do. If you have the patience, of course. Okay, so we gotta get one of these and one of these. Wait, is that right? Okay, it goes in here. Wait, that's not right. Oh, it is right. It is, wait. Oh, it's this way, okay. And like this. Okay. Comes through like this, and then this sits on here. What is the most accurate model they've made? That's a very good question. Obviously, I love the Saturn V they did. There's a lot of detail on that isn't needed. Perfect Dark, I agree, Perfect Dark is a far better game, but GoldenEye obviously was the one that most people saw first, and Perfect Dark also needed the memory expansion thing, so a lot of people didn't end up playing it. But Perfect Dark is actually one of my favorite. It was definitely a huge, one of my favorites at the time. Do I follow Formula One? I don't anymore. When I followed Formula One, Williams were the team to beat. Okay, so I guess I do this. That we now get some parts that are starting to move independently. Yeah, Joanna Dark, that was her name, right? That was after Tomb Raider, of course. Okay, so we just this is all like base mechanic stuff that's being built right now. You hear me say base mechanic? Your base mechanic, do you know the Florida base? There's a DJ, maybe it's not a DJ, base mechanic, I think actually is a competitive truck that is has a sound system that enters sound system competition. Maybe that's not happening anymore, but I have vinyl by an artist called Bass Mechanic, and it always has pictures of this pickup truck with massive speakers on it. And then I remember reading about how they used submarine batteries and everything to power it. Okay, so this goes in here, and this goes in here. Okay, this goes in here. And this then goes here. Oh, and then once that's through, this goes down. So there's a lot of interlocking stuff, yeah. Okay. Okay. Lego Patreon must be lit. Do you think there's a Lego Patreon? There was a brown Cortina. Yeah, I know there was a whole competitive car sound system scene, and in particular, this one was playing a specific subgenre of Miami bass, which is a subgenre of breakbeat. And so I sort of was adjacent, so I'd sometimes drop some Miami bass just for giggles. The video is horizontally flipped, and I have not figured out how to fix it. It's very annoying. I'm sorry. You just have to look at it backwards. That's right, yeah. With modern electric cars, the sound system competition should be getting easier. I bet you a Tesla should be able to like take the record. I'm surprised that that hasn't happened, to be honest. Okay, so this kind of moves up like that. Okay, so now it says put in 2 of these things here. So this is like a really technic thing. You watch it through a mirror, exactly. Honestly, I'm just as ugly if it's merged the correct way. Like, it's not going to look any better than it is, right? I am not somebody that benefits from accurate symmetry or rendition or whatnot, right? I will probably need to drink some coffee. Yeah, so we are having potentially Artemis 2 launch in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks maybe, 2.5 weeks. It will of course be flying around the moon with 3 crew members, 3 Americans, 1 Canadian. And I don't know if you've noticed, but of the crew members, there is an inverse correlation with spaceflight experience and height. What does that mean? That means that the shortest one has the most time in space and the most EVAs. Yes. She's not the commander, but she has more experience than anyone else. That would be, of course, Christina Cook. Oh, this does this. Yeah, you'd think that Tesla would be able to own the competitions. And then we get a bushing on here. 369 repeating indefinitely. Okay, and then we do one of these. And we do one of these. This looks right. That looks right. Okay, what's next? And then we gotta do one of these over the top. Yeah, exactly. You think the Tesla would be able to do more than just dance. Okay, so you push this through here and then push this. So we're putting in a gear. I see. So this is a hard one because we gotta put this, we gotta build this gearbox, right? And that means we have to hold this in place and then run the shaft through it, but not so far through because there's another gear that needs to go on here. There, so we got the first section in, right? So that turns, and then we gotta put on this little blue one in the middle here and then continue to drive the shaft through until, is that all the way through? Oh no, it looks like we only have it partially through for now, so there's probably just a little. I think what I want to see is the crew actually using the phone for like incidental images and things like this. I think I just want to see them like stick it on while they're, you know, basically sitting there being amazed at the moon, going ooh and ah, and look at that interesting geology there. That looks like volcanic rock. That looks like cheese. Mirror, mirror on the phone. Yeah, exactly. I hate it. I don't know what's going on here. I'm sorry. Okay, just checking. Got this, and then we have the longer one that goes up the middle, which would be gone. There it is, there. This goes up the middle. As far as I know, the camera stabilizers on the phone don't fail in 0G. And my source on that is I've used an iPhone in 0G and it worked fine. So there you go. We know that like Jared Isaacman and Yusaka Maezawa and all that, they all use their camera in 0G. So yay. Okay, so we get this. We're gonna put this big cog on here, gear. Is this a Lego rocket? No, we're building a Lego model of a rocket which is made from Lego. Like, There is, however, a while back, I don't know if you remember, but the hydraulic press channel, at my suggestion, I believe they actually built a Lego hybrid rocket engine using Lego as fuel, right? So it was like acrylic fuel, which burns really well. The problem, of course, is that the geometry or the stuff that Lego does not have nice flow patterns. There we go. So we got this. So we've got some stuff that moves. Yay, okay. Right, so we've got this gearbox that we built. Some actual technic stuff. Okay, so now, what have we got here? So we put yellow one in. Oh, and this whole thing has to lock in here, okay. And then this goes through to latch them together. At least SLS Block 5 will not... Listen, if you have a hydrogen-fueled rocket, it is leaking hydrogen, right? It's like what hydrogen stuff does. It leaks, right? It leaks and it knows things. No, wait, that's drink. That's Game of Thrones. That's what I do. I drink and I know things. Okay, so I gotta figure out how this maps in here. I think this goes like that. Nope, it's backwards. I do it like that. That would be unfortunate if I got that wrong. Okay, so this looks about right. I am absolutely coming to open source. In fact, if you check the open source website, you will see that I am a featured creator. So yes, as suggested, I will be at open source. Okay. Why does that... Okay. We rocket mode for spaceflight. I think that, I'll be honest, like I think Apple should do like a special OS build or whatever, special mod that changes the airplane icon to a spaceship for the iPhones that fly in space. Just saying, you know? Little things like that. Spaceship mode. Oh, hey, I somehow... I'm not clear what happened. Oh, okay, I see what goes on here. So we need one more bit. This bit here goes through like this. Oh, right, so this helium and iPhone story. No, this is absolutely a legit thing, right? What happens is that every processor thing needs to have a way to clock all its systems. So it needs a clock crystal, right? And the traditional way you do that is with like a quartz oscillator, right? And the quartz oscillators are in packages and their crystals are cut to basically the right size and tuned so that they create this like perfect clock frequency which can then be multiplied and used by the chips to coordinate everything. Now, trying to minimize things down further, some people developed a very small like oscillating pendulum thing. So it's a micromechanical electronic device or whatever. And the problem is that the frequency changes when the gas density changes. And when that changes, it causes problems for everything that depends on the clock. So this is what I understand, right? I cannot confirm or deny that is what the official problem is on board or whether there's anything that's being done around it. But the case normally is fine because like it doesn't leak, but helium leaks in everywhere, so it can become like a problem. Okay, so where does this go? This goes here, right? So I gotta get this and two of these. That would be cool, yeah, if the iPhone detected that it was on the space station or had an altitude above the Kármán line. That might work, Anyway, I'm gonna put this in here. Okay, so again, this is us getting a little further forwards on this thing here. more a division of the frequency. Why would it be divide the frequency? Isn't you have to multiply? Don't you need to make? Okay, yeah, sure. You're dividing the time steps, but you're actually multiplying the frequency, right? So you're dividing the time step, but multiplying the frequency. There, that's what you got. It's a clock divider. You're right. It's not a clock multiplier. I haven't seen that study about the center of the galaxy, but given that we've imaged an object that is in the correct place and we've seen objects moving around it, that would suggest that there is in fact a black hole there with the mass. So I don't know what they're specifically saying, but it would seem to me that there is definitely a black hole at the core of our galaxy. Okay, so this goes in this way. I see, so this goes in here. And that connects to that. I would you dispute the ski jumping lift generating scandal? Let me just say that if the ski jumpers are that concerned for range, you know, there's a point at which it's going to be, you know, the all-drug Olympics, right? Here we go. So this goes through here. And then it has to pop all the way through. Click, clickety click. So now we got a lot more stuff actually working here. So these things all integrate. Okay, so what we've got to do here. So we've done this. Now we need one of the things to go in here. We could have done this one earlier. This is a MacBook Pro. This is the one I use for my DJing. And it's the thing I'm using for everything. It is just so damn good at everything. And it runs like all day on a single battery charge. Like, it's stunning how power efficient the modern Macs are. Like, certainly they're not great for gaming, you know, like you can play games on them. I'm not going to deny that. But, you know, if you want to play the latest first person shooter, and honestly, do you really want to play the latest first person multiplayer shooter when there's great games out there that aren't that? Yeah, it plays Kerbal Space Program just fine. It plays some of the Flight Simulator stuff. Yeah, music production. I would love to spend more time on that. I actually have a Reason license that I would really like to use. I don't know if you heard my video, Eat, Sleep, Rave, Space, Repeat. Like, took that to the Astro Awards, had a bunch of space nerds chanting it. It worked pretty well. Yes, the ARM architecture, the greatest things the Brits brought to the world, to computers. Okay, what is going on here? This does not seem to want to go through here. Oh, wait. Hold on. There's one of these things first. That's what's going on here. Well, I can totally see that first-person shooter, multiplayer first-person shooters are popular, but they're just not my cup of tea by any means. I mentioned on Twitter, I was really happy to see Mugenics just absolutely bombing up the charts and getting like 1 million sales, 100,000 players simultaneous. That's kind of fun to see, like a weird-ass indie game getting a lot of attention. Yeah, I kind of like that kind of stuff. Okay, so this now needs to go here. There's really only one pin holding it? Okay. That's interesting that this has multiple gears coupling this. Eugenics. Has anyone completed that yet? Has anyone identified my voice in it yet? Oh, shoot. Got it backwards. Well, and Super Meat Boy as well, to a certain extent, I guess. What is going on here? Oh, I see. This all goes through. Okay, so this holds all of these things in place. I don't do flight training in VR. I just use a regular thing. The hard part with the flight training that I actually do is communications. I use Pilot Edge to actually talk to flight controllers, and that makes a lot of difference. It really, really helps me actually in real life. But yeah, okay, what's going on here? Oh, we have one of these weird coupling things, huh? Yeah, I played a bit of Mugenics already, and I was doing really well, got all the way up to the desert without having a team wipe at all, and then it all started going wrong, and I've kind of decided to chill out and actually get work done, like building some Lego instead, right? There we go. I did a video, yeah, Frontier Pilot Simulator. That was like a weird, you know, gamified type simulator. Okay, back to it says, let me just check. There's nothing I'm missing here. It seems strange that I've got 2 pieces left and somehow... Let me just check one last check to make sure that I'm not missing some step that needs these parts, right? This is like a good way to step back, make sure that the thing I've built looks the part. That all looks good. Okay. I cannot do the meow I did for it because here's the thing, I sent in a whole bunch of meows and hisses and purrs, and I don't know which ones they took. But every now and then I'm thinking, could that be me? I don't know. Fun nevertheless. Just making sure that this actually works. Okay, so let's split this up. We need these. Okay. La 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 la. I'm gonna get rid of this because it's suddenly very hot. Okay, so what's next? So I have this here, and I gotta put one into this, and I get this here, gotta put one in this. I think I've already mentioned my favorite liquid rocket engine being the F1 engine that was used on the Saturn V, not because it's necessarily the greatest, although it is technically the most powerful and largest single chamber engine. It's more the development work that was done into it was very hands-on. Plus it has this awesome, like, smoky, you know, film cooled exterior, which is, I don't know, it's a very distinctive look. Do I like Heart by any chance? I've certainly sung a couple of tunes by Heart in the past, I'll say that, because I was a rocker in the 80s for sure, and I still very much am, and I have no regrets. Okay. Okay, like this. I see how this goes. We go this, and then this goes like this. I would love to see, yes, more space rocket game. But you know what? So Mohandas Meme, you should check out Simple Rockets, also known as Juno New Origins. It is kind of, it does a lot of the same stuff as Kerbal. It works on iOS and it also works on Android and it also works on Mac OS. It's just, you know, it's not as silly in some ways. I don't know exactly why it doesn't work in the same way, but why it wasn't as successful, but it's a fine piece of software, right? There's nothing technically I can say anything, there's nothing wrong about it in any way. It just somehow never grabbed me in the same way as Kerbal Space Program did. So I'm guessing this is the spine that we are building. Hey, you should if you don't have KSP, you should always buy KSP. If you don't have it, get it, right? Start building, start exploring, start exploding, you know, whatever order, whatever works, right? Here we go. This goes in here, and then this goes in here. The FAA in El Paso, what I understand is that it was something that Homeland Security decided to do. The Army didn't have exact knowledge of what was going on. The FAA wasn't informed, and so in the absence of information, they did what they were supposed to and shut down the airspace until they actually got some information, and then they could reopen the airspace. Meanwhile, Department of Homeland Security or whatever, who had just got their hand on an anti-drone laser weapon, managed to shoot down some party balloons. That's terrible. If someone hasn't played Portal, like, gosh, it's like, it's so tragic. It feels like a tragedy because anyone that's played Portal, right, knows, and Portal 2 just knows how much joy comes from that experience. It's something you want people to do, right? It's something you want to share with people, right? I'm going to play more Kitten Space Program, Kitten Space Agency, when it appears, when it's useful, when it lets me start blowing things up. There we go. It's building, 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 building. I just, yeah, that whole thing just kind of shows you, I don't know, shows you how dysfunctional government can be when, you know, people have their own fiefdoms and they fail to actually communicate amongst them correctly. Okay. So we do this, and then this. Oh, the Airborne Laser Laboratory didn't, like, do enough. Like, the ALL was actually a pretty amazing piece of engineering, but it was really a proof of concept that barely worked, and there was huge numbers of technical issues that still needed to be addressed before it would be a deployable thing. Nevertheless, maybe it'll come back. Well, you know, the government is certainly less functional in El Paso this weekend. I'll just say that. Like, functionality or whatever is, what is it? It's a relative term, right? Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Okay. Laser tag. I remember laser tag. Did they still call it laser tag? Or is it, have they sort of moved on from it being lasery? Oh, wait a second, I'm missing something here. Okay, sorry. So there is like a space agency type game which they've been all kind of very soulless and failed terribly. They've been sort of like Eastern European and lacking fun. And I mean, and I'm going to say the Eastern European developers can absolutely make fun games. I'm just saying that the developers have been in Eastern Europe and somehow, yeah, somehow the game hasn't been fun, which is kind of important if it's a game. So we start with this, and fire tag, that sounds good. I just don't really have time to play a lot of games these days. I really need to finish up a bunch of my, pilot ratings and stuff. That's what's really sort of on my mind right now. I get really distracted trying to make more people watch my content. Okay, so it goes like this, and then this goes on. I played Outer Wilds before anyone else. I played Outer Wilds back when it was a student game. So, yeah, I remember the Game Developers Conference where it seemed to come out of nowhere and suddenly win all these prizes. I gotta finish my instrument pilot rating, and I gotta finish up my commercial pilot rating. So, that's what's going on there. Okay, so this, hold on. Okay, so this doesn't make sense. Oh, it's like this. That's what's going on. So I do this, and it goes through. That's right, okay. So the other thing about eugenics is my daughter also did a bunch of voices. She's not in the credits. I don't know if they included them or she just wasn't, popular enough to get a credit. Oh, and Outer Wilds is another game I got a credit. Yeah, that's right. I think I was only there. I was only on there though because I was a backer or whatever, right? So I backed the Kickstarter. It wasn't Kickstarter. It was actually Fig. That was one of the platforms where you could actually come in as an investor, and I couldn't qualify. I would have put thousands of dollars into that game and I would have made out like a bandit had I think, because they ended up selling it, and the people that were the investors did pretty well, in terms of, compared to your average game develop investment. Okay, so we've got this, and now this has to go like that. So that's what's going on here. Yeah, I still wish we got Half-Life 3 as well. You see, I never was a Highland liver. Besides, I moved to California and I have mountains out the back door here. All right, I can climb mountains that are much higher than Ben Nevis with some ease, let's say. Okay, so we've got this. So we've got our whole backbone now, and now it looks like we're supposed to just mate this on here. I gotta make sure I do this right here. Yeah, so this is where it goes. So there's like a wheel, a gear right here. Hopefully this just locks in. Locked in. Oh yeah, baby. Oh boy. Okay, and so now we run in some more of these pins to hold it together. Here. Because here's the thing, if you're driving, this whole thing animates, right? And you need to make sure this is held together by it's rigid and interconnected. Video is reversed. I know, it's unfortunate. It's not much I can. Okay, so this is actually as far as it goes. Sorry. There we go. Okay, so we get two of these in here, and we got to do 1 and 1 like this. So this goes in here, and this goes here. The launch that I'm going to make a trip for, ideally, is Artemis 2, which is hopefully at the start of March. How much pressure can those Lego tanks hold? They can hold infinite pressure because they just leak. They don't explode. It's there. Does that work? I don't know if you can make a pressure tank that works in Lego, or if there's anything that will actually hold it in. Okay, so we gotta put this in here. Okay, so now we got to turn this around and put these in, which are very interesting. So these latch on here. What's octane? I tell you why, it wasn't Portal 2 that gave me PTSD, but Half-Life 2 Episode 2. Boy, carrying the gnome, that was hard. There we go. Okay, so we're building our base out, right? This is giving you an idea of the scale of this launch vehicle. Okay, Octane is Lego's version of Pixar B&L. I don't know what B&L is. Okay, so now... Okay, so I gotta take these. Okay, so this one goes like that. And I do one of these. Make sure to put an M80 in the storage tank, right? Yeah. Lego and its disgusting colors. Is that coffee or vodka? I am definitely going with the coffee because it's just kind of, I have to get through this and I want to make sure that I'm not falling asleep towards the end because that kind of messes up. Does Kerbal have a Lego add-on? Yeah, here's the thing. I always said that Lego should have moved in and acquired Kerbal and turned it into a Lego game. Or that would have been just the most logical thing. But unfortunately, logic didn't work with Squad. The guys that started Squad didn't know what they had. I mean, they knew that it was selling. They managed to blow a lot of their money. Like, people act as if Private Division and Take-Two came in and messed things up. It was messed up before they came in. Let's be clear, right? Okay. So, neat. Okay, so now I'm going to build one of these things here. Or do I have to build two of them? I'm going to build just the one because I think it's just the one. Do this. You have an astrophysics PhD as a result of Kerbal Space Program. Good for you. That is awesome to hear. I never completed my astrophysics PhD, but maybe one of these days I'll get an honorary PhD or something for all the inspiration that I've delivered to students who have had their, had their inspiration destroyed by real academia. I actually, when I met Brian May, that was like one thing. It's like, so any advice on like going back and, finishing? So, oh, I see. It goes up here. Okay. Yeah, Lego buying Kerbal would have been the best. Hey, thanks, Not So Dude. I appreciate your work in Mission Control, giving me stuff to put in the Deep Space updates. I think I'm just gonna try and make it a weekly thing again. I've tried before. It's hard. I might have to have the occasional lag between like publication and recording publication, so it might not be quite so fresh. But I think it gets too long if I keep it more than a week or so. There's so much going on, and I am very excited for what could happen during Artemis. Well, here's the thing. Like, it could be Starship, or it could be Blue Origin. Honestly, at this point, I think that is the message that we have heard. That's there's a reason why SpaceX and Blue Origin have both suddenly started talking about. No, that's right. Okay, this is how it goes. What? Hold on. I gotta make sure this is correct. That's how it goes. Okay, gotta make sure. well, you know, I don't want to spoil it for you. I don't know, can you spoil a Lego kit? Some people get like super, you know, annoyed if you show them the secrets of the kit. It's like the secrets of the crypt, but with Lego, obviously. So this goes in the middle here, and it joins in like that. And then for this one, we have one here and one here. Will you watch the V3 Starship launch? I hope at this point I will have managed to sort out my various things. I have like a hard time limit on getting my instrument rating because I passed the test in 2024 and I need to get it before I complete it then, you know? It's actually, I really wanted to always keep that thing, and people are always telling me on the Deep Space updates, why are you reading out all the launches? There's so many useless launches. It's like, no, I think there's so many little stories. Every single rocket that goes up is carrying somebody's payload, and it's always cool when I reference some rocket that nobody cares about, and somebody messages me saying, oh, I worked on that, thanks for mentioning it. You know, I'm like, yes, exciting. I'm building the stationary one. I have the the stationary, sorry, I'm building the moving one. The stationary Artemis or SLS is in my room and I just don't have space to build it. So this is my plan. Well, you know, some people get mad when I keep on reading all the Chinese launches, but these are the same people that complained when I read all the Starlink launches, you know, so. I'm not sure about the Hail Mary Lego set. I mean, I guess I probably should. I met Andy Weir at Open Source last year, and I was sort of like simultaneously, oh my god, I'm such a fan, and he was like, oh, I appreciate your work, and I was like, good, let me tell you what's wrong with The Martian. And I feel I may have not given the best first impression because I really appreciate the work that he did on that. Okay, so this goes in here, and this goes in here. This is like really cool. How many Legos will fall off the? I don't know. I have not built the Lego Artemis. Okay, apparently we're on to bag 3. I am kind of excited for the Hail Mary movie because it seems that a lot of people are excited for it. No, the Minuteman, so is there any scheduling? So basically the Minuteman launches have to happen, I think, every 6 months regardless. But yes, they have a secret launch window and they don't tell you when it's going to launch, but it seems that they frequently launch right at the start of the windows, or very close to. So I tend to like pay attention to it. Sorry, I'm a little sippily here. Okay, so, oh, it's in this bag, even a smaller bag. Okay, so this, like that, and I need one of these little studs, and then this goes on here. Okay, click. Okay, great. Apparently we're on. Yes, Edronic, yes, you are absolutely correct. I don't know, like I started streaming and I'm like, suddenly I'm really sniffly. This is not fun. I sort of have this sort of broad allergy to all sorts of things. It makes me sniffle, and it's very annoying. You know, I get out in nature and all these things, and then I think a lot of it's just like, if I don't sleep enough, I get sniffly. No, this is blue one. Blue one needs to go in here. Okay, so we do this. Okay, so now, next step. is this. I'm not using OBS. I'm using the YouTube app on the iPhone. And it's decided to flip, and I can't figure out why, and I couldn't find the icon to undo it. Very disappointing. Very disappointing. These things are supposed to be easy, and there's no icon on the screen that lets me undo it, as far as I can tell, and nobody's been able to tell me. I did not actually work in the huge modern Apple complex because I actually had an office in San Francisco because it would reduce my commute. And I could go to Apple Park, and it was very nice when I got to go there and enjoy the fantastic food and stuff. But no, I didn't go in there very often. It was always a special occasion when I did. It is a really amazing building, I'm going to say. Okay, so. No, I just read things back to front. Yeah, the funny thing is I have actually learned to read stuff back to front and upside down and things like that. I don't know, I just got good at it because it kept on being a useful feature to read upside down and things. And so it's about 30 minutes per bag, so we're up for like 3.5 hours. Crikey. I should talk less, drink more, right? Okay, so it goes like this, and then we have to have one of these go through here. Yep. I've done a few live Lego builds in the past. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of these and one of these. I mean, I think that you know that China has a lot of work to do, but here's the thing: I don't think China are stopping, right? That's how I would presume. I'm presuming that they are looking at a lunar program which is going to have a lot more stuff happening after landing. They've talked about their lunar base. They have international partners on their lunar base. And so if you just make it a flags and footprints program, then China's going to win in the long run, because that's really what it is. This is the SLS. Wait a second, is that correct? Hold on, that's why it won't go. This is the animated SLS Technics set, which is really quite special. Like Special Forces level of special, to be clear. Okay, here we go. Oh, and one of these. Any tips on how to avoid the Kraken in Kerbal Space Program? Yeah, have a computer that's really fast and don't time accelerate, and don't have a million different parts. That's really how to do it. Lego, that's a good question. Because you know, you would expect with this whole Greenland thing that Lego could suddenly not be available in the US, and that would really change public opinion, I would expect. Here we go. Okay, that goes in here. You let your old, there was a piece missing from the kit. Oh, it's always frustrating when you end up with just like the one that's gone. Okay, so start this here. And here. And then this goes on here. Yeah, Lego's Danish. Yeah, printed pieces are nicer in every way. Okay, so turn this around. We have this in here. You want to get the light kit for the Saturn V. I basically got like a fake Lego set for the launch tower. And then I realized that it had been basically copied from some builders, so I sent them like $50 because I felt bad. Okay, so this is for the front of the set, right? So what we do is this goes on. Is that how it goes? Okay, it goes like this. I see. So I guess this goes on. This goes through. Okay. I blew my mind. I don't know. I remember seeing capacitors getting exploded. That certainly blew up something, but it wasn't mind blowing. It was the capacitors blowing up. I remember my physics teacher doing that, just talking about what happens if you put too much charge and then hitting a button and the thing exploded behind us, which was kind of neat. Okay, so this goes in here and then, come on, there we go. And then it folds around and then I guess you put a pin through here and it locks it in. This is very cool. So let me show you what we've got here. If I can get this pin to go through. Ow, it's hurting my hand. There we go. So yeah, this is the corner of the set here, right? And they pin all the stuff on the outside like this. It's very hard to tell. There you go. So you can see it's all like pinned in place. Very nice. Do I have a link to that builder? I don't. Oh, Professor Electroboom. What? That's right. Professor Electroboom. Boy, yeah, blowing up capacitors. I did that quite a few times just for fun after I figured out how to do it. So this just goes in here like that. Okay. That seems kind of redundant. The gear assembly is designed to be viewed once it will be assembled. Interesting. I'm just turning the gears just to be sure. It feels very nice to see gears running. Okay, so now we're gonna start. I guess we're gonna do the same on the other side and it's gonna be very similar. So I gotta make sure these things go in the correct order. Yeah, that would be cool. Has anyone looked into how hackable those smart bricks are? Like, can you run Arduinos or something on it? I'm really curious. Oh, wait a second. I need the short one here. Wrong one. Wrong one. This is set 4221. 4221. That is correct. For those of you paying attention to these kind of things. So again, we have this and this. RTK GPS on a model rocket. It's a good question. Good question. Good morning from Germany. Hi. I know it's you guys are waking up. I'm running towards the end of my night and hopefully I'm going to finish this. Only have like 4 more bags to go, right? How hard can it be? So I'm looking for another right angle. I do this and then one of these goes through, piercing together.